Space whales? Nope, rather deal with devils. Chapter 60, Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Time passed by, as does life naturally dictated, as per usual. And in that time, Kunou had juggled between names for me, seemingly trying them out to see what fit. Father? It's too formal for her. Dad? Far too simple and unrefined. And she eventually got stuck on Papa and Daddy of all things. Honestly, I blamed her lack of an actual father, as Kunou was born of a man who seduced Yasaka, and once he hit it, he fled the planet after hearing he got her pregnant and went into another Pantheon's hidden realm to avoid responsibility. From my point of view, like, props to the guy for going so far. It's one thing to flee a country to avoid child payments, but to leave the overworld of Earth? Now that was some high-tier deadbeat dad action there. But now, after calmly staying hidden away in a nice hotel room, it was time for us to head on back home to the world of DxD, where Mommy and I would need to keep Kunou safe from any remaining 5 principal clan assassins. You ready to go home, Kunou? I asked gently, and she firmly nodded, with her holding onto my arm as with a flex of my will I opened the portal that would take us back to our world of DxD. Yes, Daddy, I am ready, she said with her customary flush at calling me that, and I inwardly died on the inside at the thought of Yasaka hearing that before I could talk to her and explain things. But regardless, we stepped forward, and after delving through the portal of swirling light, we were ejected without issue through the other side with the sounds of battle still ringing out, and I smiled, seeing Mommy standing there with a weak smile and waving to me. You were only gone for a few seconds. Mommy yelled through the din of battle as Yukai were taking the upper hand, as they slaughtered the disposable assassins and mercenaries that the 5 principal clans had brought into the mystical side of Kyoto. I nodded and then looked back at the mostly intact office building where Kunou and I were supposed to actually meet. I then looked over at the violent, huge battle between Yasaka and her traitorous advisor, Genbu, or whatever his name was. I honestly forgot after the last week of being in Konosuba. Either way, I looked at the massive turtle monster with my mystic eyes of death perception, and I said, Mommy, you take Kunou into the office and keep her safe. I am going to see if I can help Yasaka cut this battle down quicker. Mommy gave me a concerned look before she shook her head and said softly, Be careful, my love. And then, as Mommy turned around with a hand going to Kunou's shoulders to gently escort her into the building, Mommy all but tripped when Kunou shamelessly said, Go kill that perverted, disgusted turtle, Daddy. I am sure Mama will give you a big kiss for helping her. I refused to catch Mommy's look as I quickly flew away from the sight and towards the massive battle between Yasaka and the turtle. Already I could see stronger Yukai were putting up barriers to catch stray attacks from the 2 ultimate class fighters, and after a moment, I condensed my mana and sent a message directly to Yasaka's ears. Do you want to kill him directly or capture him? My magic whispered into her massive ears, only for her to sense. Her large kitsune ears twitched, and after a moment, I felt her senjutsu-based life force track my mana back to my form, and she, seemingly finding me, spoke through the senjutsu connection she made. My daughter. Did you use a phoenix tear or something to manage to heal her? And yes, I want this rat turtle dead, but you are too weak to help me, so stay back. It was less of verbal words and more of her speaking directly to my life force, and I could feel her all-consuming worry she had for Kunou, so I sent a simple yes that Kunou was safe as Yasaka continued to blast the heavily shielded turtle Yukai with bright blue fox flames. And seeing as Yasaka had given the A-OK for the turtle to die, I could help a lot now. I could help very easily. As after all, for me, with the mystic eyes of death perception, it only took one good cut for me to kill someone or something. My eyes stared at the shields of the fucking massive turtle Yukai, and then, as it spun around to try to slam its spike-covered back into Yasaka's face, I sped forward at high speed with Yasaka sending a feeling of warning and anger at me for getting involved. But I didn't retreat as I slammed a conjured ice knife like a molten knife through butter through a death line within its shell, and the turtle went stiff as the enchanted citri ice dagger began pouring a supernatural chill directly into its body. What is a turtle without its shell? I muttered, and then an ear-popping series of cracking noises rang out as I twisted the dagger, and the hardened point of the turtle's shield cracked open with great meter-wide cracks opening violently across the turtle's form with sprays of blood shooting out of the gaps. I instantly flew back at high speeds as the turtle yokai's massive head turned towards me with agony in its expression. As that expression of agony was quickly changed into fury, with powerful lances of compressed water shooting out towards me that I dodged by getting the hell away from the pissed-off yokai. It had clearly thought I was a powerful threat with how I had shattered its great turtle shell and barrier spells surrounding it. But its moment of focusing on me was paid for in blood as its outstretched head to shoot out the lances of water beams were answered by Yasaka taking the perfect chance to sink her fangs into the turtle's neck with her front legs bracing up against the shattered shell as she began pulling. And I could hear it. As the turtle yokai's flesh ripped, its bones and ligaments shattered and tore. I heard the turtle call out fearfully. Yasaka. I didn't order them to kill your daughter, only wanted her as a hostage. I have blackmail on all of you and your fellow yokai leaders. I will burn you all down if you kill me. His only answer was a growl of fury from Yasaka, and I watched as her powerful kitsune limbs tensed, and the turtle gave a guttural scream that became a dying gurgle as crimson blood painted Yasaka's form as she fully ripped his head off via chewing and ripping through his neck. I gently flew over as both Yasaka and the turtle's form began shrinking down with his death, and as I came close, I saw Yasaka wiping her gore-covered face with a towel before her slitted eyes landed on me, and she asked calmly, "Where is Kunou?" Taking a breath, I said. At the office, we were supposed to meet previously. Mommy and I dealt with the assassins in the area. Everything should be died down so you want to go check on her. At my question, Yasaka floated into the air and said with forced calm. Indeed, I need to check on my heir and daughter before I assess the damages that my lieutenants are no doubt collecting data for.